basically the request from Bob, I believe, was a customer portal that would allow customers to create their own cargo and track their own cargo. So got a quick customer database here, filled it up with kind of the core participants, Paul, Stuart. So what we want to do is allow those to sign in and to create their own. So let's take a look at that. So here is that application, Cargo Portal. So sign on with your user ID and password. I'm going to start with Stuart. Now Stuart is a normal user. So password is DDD. So Stuart at DDD.com. There's Bob at DDD. Nathan, everyone at DDD. Stuart happens to be, well, let me just show you. So if I screw up the password, I don't get in. If I do it correctly, now I'm on. So I'm able to do two things from a customer perspective at this point. I can see my cargo. So it shows here are the current requests that I've made. And this is just a sample one I did. I can potentially edit it. And we're going from New York to Victoria. Now notice here the customer, I can't reassign cargo to a customer. In some cases we may want to for transferring, but it's not enabled. That's one function. Number two, create cargo request. I'm going to create a new request for cargo. And we're going to ship farm supplies, farm stuff, and Stuart wants to ship, let's say on the 22nd, and he needs it there by the 31st. Stuart is going let's go Miami to Aberdeen, South Dakota. Notice it defaults to Stuart, and I'll also note that if I try to insert without filling in the square footage, it doesn't let me. So we have complete field level validation of which fields are required and which ones aren't. So I'm going to fill this in and insert. And now we have a new request, and if I look at my cargo, defaulting this to 1. If I go next, there's his farm supply. So I need to adjust my cargo to show multiple at the same time. Okay, so very simple, self-service application, very common. However, in this case, let me just see if I can fix that once. My cargo, I haven't really got into the tool behind it, but this is the operation that creates it. It was only returning one row. We're going to change that to maybe 500, so it'll do the paging. I'll update this operation, and one of the benefits of this system is it does hot deployment, so I don't have to redeploy any WAR files. So I click on my cargo, and now I have a complete list of items. Okay, I'm going to sign off now, and now I'm going to sign on as a special admin user, phome, and actually, well, let's sign on as, I think Bob is also, so Bob is a special user. We'd probably have a different sign on, but for illustration, Bob DDD, login, and now notice the new menu item. Stuart did not see anything with dealing with customers. Bob is a special admin, so he can maintain customers. We get a new customer, we need to add it. So let's go ahead and Bob is responsible for adding. Oh, let's grab the old Frank Wilson. Whoop. Wilson Frank. Okay. Email. Now, we've got to get in more of this, but these are intelligent fields. They're not just char 40s. So if I put in, let's just say R, is that a valid email? No, it's not. So we're going to automatically validate the meaning of the fields. So these are actually rich, intelligent objects themselves. So let me fill in frank@ddd.com. Gender, another intelligent field that has meaning. A gender field can have these possible values. Cell phone number. If I put in again ours, not a valid phone number. Now notice in this case these aren't required fields, so I'm not going to skip them. Password, DDD. Now, what kind of security is tied to Frank? Frank could be a super administrator that has all sorts of capabilities, a customer who can only see their stuff, or a administrator. So let's make Frank just a normal guy. Okay, now Frank could sign on and do his thing. Now something I want to show here, administrated cargoes by customer. So let's just take Stuart, where we define something. You remember Stuart could not, oh, do I got that same problem here? Yes, I do. I'm only, for some reason those are only defaulting to one admin by customer. They're only set to return one row, so I'm going to administer cargo by customer. So look at cargo shipping by customer. This happens to be the operation. Down here, you're able to set, like, let's say you got 10 million rows. You only want to return 500 at a time. So I'm going to update that row count, change it, and again we'll just rerun. Now we have Stuart again, and now here's both of his. Now we're going to go in, and let's say that Stuart is associated with a company and it got mixed up, so we're going to change Stuart's cargo, and his customer, notice that this was not enabled before. This was read-only, but I'm an administrator. I have security. I have the authority to change it to now Frank. So now if I change that to Frank, saying that perhaps Stuart ordered it for one of his buddies, and now we're doing an update. So I'll go ahead and do that. So what we looked at was actually the ability to secure individual operations or menu items, as well as securing individual fields. We can secure them for read authority as well as edit authority, meaning you can look at it or you can't. Let's sign off here. Let's sign back on as our Frank. And DDD. Brand new user, Frank, we're on my cargo, and there's our newly reassigned item. So we now have the ability for a customer portal. Kind of a neat side effect that I just looked at was, if we go back to our original application and look at cargo, I did not touch this since we first created it. But if I add cargo, actually let me look at cargo. Let me look at an existing cargo. I'm going to, okay, here's the farm supplies that we just added for Stuart. If I edit that, no, I don't see customer. It was in here, I must not have included that. But if I did, it shows up, but is in a read only because at this role is not authorized to that. So that is the customer portal.